This is the site of an archaeological treasure unearthed by erosion. Rick Knecht first came to this corner of southwestern Alaska in 2009. What he uncovered outside the village of Quinnipiac was beyond all expectations. Objects dating back 4 centuries at risk of decomposing as the permafrost that preserved them melted.
It's a little bit like finding a museum only because it's on fire. So it's great to see, but we've had to really work around the clock, work very hard to save what we can.
The result is the world's largest collection of prehistoric Yupik Eskimo artifacts. Almost 100,000 objects dating back to the 1600s are now kept inside a museum in the village.
This is not just an art object. This is made for tying a harpoon onto a line. And it's beautifully made to show respect to the sea mammals.
Yupik culture itself is at least 1,000 years old, long before the Russians discovered Alaska in the 19th century.
This collection is our first look ever at pre-contact Yupik culture. This is the first large-scale excavation in this area, which is the size of Britain. And it's almost like a totally unknown prehistory that we're just saving now from the combined effects of climate change.
All this wouldn't have been possible without help from the local community. Yupik tradition doesn't normally allow for such sites to be disturbed out of respect for ancestors. It took Warren Jones 2 years, with help from his grandfather, to get all the other elders on board.
We convinced them if we don't get them now, they're going to be washed to sea, the ocean. And I did it mostly to have our younger generation never forget where they came from.
The community even funded the project at a time when they didn't have running water. Many of them still join Rick and other volunteers at the site each summer. A group of teenagers from the village has revived traditional dancing, and some have started to learn the Yupik language.
It makes me feel like a native from back then.
And it's not just young people. Some villagers have started carving, making tools and jewelry inspired by the artifacts.
These are all different spoons. Look how nicely they're made. Aren't they pretty?
There could be thousands of similar sites rotting away in coastal Alaska. This project has already inspired other native communities to look at working with archaeologists to rescue their buried heritage before it's too late.